This is a quick one, y'all. This is a quick one. Let me tell you, hello, Peter and Taryn. I'm so excited that you're here. Look at me. Look at me. This is like my inner child is so jazzed up about this little fountain going up like on top of my head. Hello, hello. I opened up the show. I've literally been ready since like 9:55 thinking I should just do this early and head to bed. Y'all like for real, the full moon vibes. You tell me how you feel. I was literally on the little Swifty chat that I'm a part of. I have like a I it's not my group. I didn't invent it. I got added into a Swifty chat and there's at least 8 or 9 of us. And so I was just checking in with them, letting them know that the full moon vibes are like really intense. And how have you been? How was your weekend? Was it productive? Was it emo? Was it mellow in like a good way? Was it restful in a productive way? I feel like emo, it's not very productive. Let's just call it that, right? Emo is not productive, not in my understanding, but we can still be in our feelings and be productive. So, is I guess it's a question of mindset. It's a question of what you call it and how you see it. But I've been on a cleaning spree for literally like 8 days now, and that's very like full moon coded, leading up to the full moon with the waning moon. Venus retrograde has brought up so much that it's almost like, please stop now, but it won't because Venus will be retrograde literally the whole month of August, and it will be back on its lane, on its rightful course on September 3rd. But we've talked about the retro shade before and how once it kind of stops on its tracks to go forward instead of backwards, just to call the retrograde something logical. Um, it's in the shadow of it, literally on the shadow of the sun, and how that can have kind of like the same effects. I learned this from Jessica Lanyadoo on the Ghost of a podcast. So take it up with her if that makes no sense. But I just feel like it's going to be longer than September 3rd, that Venus is going to be in retrograde. And what is it about Venus retrograde? Because there's about 6 or 7 planets that are going to go retrograde in the month of August. August. I can't talk right now. August. So that may not paint well or may not be received nicely. We're going to talk about it in due time. Right now, I feel like the one thing that concerns me and my clients and you the most is the fact that, thank you, Taryn, you're so cute. It's the fact that Venus is in retrograde, so we're gonna glance up on that as well and touch up on that. And Mercury goes retrograde this week. And neither of those are something to be afraid of. You're going to hear a lot of astrologers talk about the drama and the villain era and how you're going to get your booty kicked. But a retrograde is nothing more than an opportunity to just go within, to reevaluate, to ponder life. And the reason for pondering life is to assess. And the reason for assessing is to discern. And the whole point of discernment is to pick one or the other and to see where you grow, not go, grow from there. And, if it's 10 step back, 10 steps back. Oh my gosh. If it's 10, is Mercury already retrograde? Because I feel like this is already happening. Anyway, um, thank you, Taryn. So glad you're here. So, okay, Venus retrograde. Geez, like for real, it's only been a week. So you tell me what has happened. Venus retrograde means a very personal, very individual reevaluation of what you believe in and what you value. And when I'm talking values, I don't mean, oh, I value time with my family or I value me time, so I go like twice a month to get my nails done. Like, no, that's not what I mean. I mean, I value perseverance, which means I not only persevere against all odds, but I value other people in relationships with me who are perseverant. That's what I value perseverance looks like. I value perspective. So not only do I practice detachment in order to look at the big picture, but I also value people who can detach from the micro to look at the big picture and then communicate. That's perspective, right? I value social intelligence, which means not only am I going to be conserved with the concerned with the collective or what's happening in the group, but I value when the people I am in relationships with value the same and look at the group and are concerned with what's happening collectively. That's what valuing social intelligence looks like. And the thing about Venus being retrograde is that Venus will govern all of the things that are luxurious and pleasurable and love, of course, as well as your finances. So we might, brush up on that as well. But it governs what you value because it also governs Taurus, and Taurus is the epitome of the earth signs, in my opinion, not because I'm a Taurus, but because think of it, it's the bull, right? No other earth sign has a big, massive, metaphor to go along with, or I don't know, animal or symbol to go with it. The bowl is big and heavy. It takes up space. It literally weighs on the ground it is standing on. So everything that's Taurus, that is Taurus coded, is very strong. Of course, it's a fixed sign. And so Venus governs Taurus. So it all goes hand in hand. And the whole thing about a retrograde is not that everything will go backwards and you're gonna have terrible luck and you're going to have drama in your relationship. It's simply that you're invited by Venus to look within and reevaluate, all in the hopes, because the universe wants what's best for you, that you really assess and discern and then grow from that reevaluation, not take 10 steps back and go back to the same life. And here's the thing, not only was Leo in retrograde in, I mean, sorry, not only was Venus in retrograde in Leo 8 years ago, but Venus goes in retrograde, it doesn't happen once a year. It doesn't happen as, what's the word? Um, Few and far between. When Pluto retrogrades, that's a generational thing because it's so far from the sun that it takes forever to go around. So the next time that Pluto is around, it's a whole generation that has gone by. And that's a whole nother conversation and rabbit hole that we're definitely not going to dive into tonight. But all of that to say that Venus retrograde it's not that big of a deal. As always, it is what you make of it. So take this time to reevaluate. Again, we're going to talk about it again next week. Why? Because it's retrograde until September 3rd. So we have all month to talk about. Let's redirect the conversation. Hello, Jennifer. Welcome. So glad that you're here. So if you're new here, my name is Graciela Moore, and I know I'm a bit frantic right now, but you know what? That's the full moon, and I'm gonna blame the moon and stick to that. And and so in this show, we like to talk about where the moon is every day, how that may affect you. It may not, and that's okay. It doesn't mean that I got it wrong. It's just that, astrology affects everyone in a different way. And I like to just brush up on the surface. If you want a deeper meaning, a deeper dive into your personal astrology, then please book a call. The link is in my bio and it's a free call at first. So, starting the month with a full moon, it's not necessarily a bad omen, but it is an omen for a dramatic month. And having 6 or 7 planets retrograding in the next 4 weeks It will be dramatic. Hello, Cecilia. Welcome. Um, it will be dramatic. And the whole point of being in the journey of emotional mastery, self assessment, self evaluation is that not only you can make sense of your emotional well being, but if you're a highly sensitive empath, you will most likely invest a level of bandwidth and a level of energy in trying to interpret other people's journey. I feel like that comes just with the territory of being empathic in general, but at the same time, remembering that we can't heal others, we can only support them in their healing. But the thing about Venus retrograding in Leo is that Leo wants to roar. Leo wants to own a decision. Leo wants to be sure. And not only am I so sure of this decision, but this is the best idea I've ever had. And everybody's going to absolutely love this. And that's Leo. But then Venus is like, but is this really important in your journey right now? Is this really what you need right now? So that's kind of how that plays out. Taryn is giving me the fire, so I guess I'm right on point with that. She's a Leo. It's her birthday month. Okay. And so there's just so much, right? And then Mercury, you add to that all of it, Mercury and all of the other planets that we'll talk later on. But Mercury is the most important one, in my opinion, because Mercury governs not just communication, so your devices are going to be faulty. Your GPS may tell you to turn right when you should have turned left. That kind of weird electric thing that happens when Mercury is in retrograde. But Mercury also governs your ideas slash ideals. And when you add your ideals to your values and how Venus governs values and it's in retrograde, then that to me sounds like an existential crisis, a moment where the astrology is kind of really forcing you to stop on your tracks because you're going nowhere. Mercury is in retrograde, so all of your travel plans have been delayed. um, and to really assess, where am I? Where do I want to go? And what's getting in the way? The magical three questions that we could really establish a whole coaching session around. Taryn is saying to stop. I'm telling you, this full moon, we're going to talk about the full moon in Aquarius too, because I feel like it's mirroring a lot of the shift from the nodal shifting, and I felt like that was such a nice tender mercy. But then I hear all the other astrologers like, the full moon in Aquarius, get ready for drama, and we're not there yet, but we will get to it. Right now, today, the moon is already in Aquarius. It shifted from Capricorn to Aquarius earlier today. And, the whole weekend with the full moon in Aquarius may have been what prompted us to purge, to cleanse, to organize, to make sense of, not as much as Virgo, for example, but the moon in Capricorn is also very order oriented. Capricorn is also, a high value, right? Since we're talking about values for Capricorn is tradition. So, I want this here because this is where it's always been. That sounds right, like Capricorn. Or, I want to cook this today because it always makes me feel better when I feel this way. And so now I'm tapping into tradition. I feel like those of us that have like a traumatizing past hear tradition and instantly think of our parentals and how we definitely don't want to keep tradition and we are the cycle breakers and the generational healers. But tradition is also like, you know, what traditions have you established for yourselves? What are your go-tos? What are the things that you like to really tap into? And there's a pattern there. At the same time, it always has there should be an element of I'm tapping into this, but not because it's my comfort zone and my path of least resistance, but because it is useful as a tool in my growth and development right now. If anything I mentioned just now about tradition and how you cope with life is like a path of least resistance and something that is just not good for you, then please disregard it and just don't do it. Um, Jennifer says, hearing that sing, what sing? And the moon is in Aquarius, old school song we are forced to sing in choir. I don't know what song you're talking about. Do you want to come on stage and sing it? You're always welcome to. But let me tell you, um, let's see if she wants to come. You're welcome to come up. You're all welcome to come up and talk about your natal moon. Which one is your natal moon? Is it Aquarius? Taryn, you can text. If you are listening on YouTube and Spotify, you need to be on Fireside so that you can be a part of the conversation. This is a live podcast with a live audience, and so Taryn is coming up to join us. I'm so excited.
Yay!
Taryn, how are you doing?
Yay! I love this. Oh my gosh, it's always so close whenever I like hit yes. Hi!
Hi. Thank you for joining me. Tell me what's going on.
Okay, so I am in my zone right now. My sun in Leo, my moon in Aquarius. This is like coming home for me, and I have had so much energy, and I hear everybody else talking about their experiences, and I'm just like um
Right.
And my kid, even today, she was like, that's funny. Curdy would have been like, stop calling her your kid. He hated that. But she was like, what is wrong with you? Because we were eating dinner and I was just like bouncing off the walls. And it's, uh, it's been fantastic for me. So I was
So,
listening to you open the show today and I'm just like, oh my gosh, like, it's just so funny. I feel like often I'm kind of like, teeter tottering like with a majority of the people anyway for some reason. Um,
it's your
but yeah,
Leo trying to, with no offense, it's your Leo trying to really accommodate and please in order to get the accolade and be loved. And that's the Leo in all of us.
yeah, absolutely. That's why I was like telling you, I said, girls, stop, because you were just calling me out earlier. I was just like, yep. Hmm.
Oh, I love it. So my son's
Absolutely.
moon is in Aquarius and he barely napped today. In fact, he didn't nap for like 3 hours and then he fell asleep. So I was glad that he got a little sleep, but he is right at home as well and extremely vocal when the moon is in Aquarius. And I don't remember where his Leo is right now, but when the moon is in Leo, he is a beast. He is so loud. I'm talking, you know, when normally he would say, "Can we watch dolphins?" When the moon is in Leo, he'll be like, "Can we watch dolphins?" Like, excuse me?
Just like so extra.
Roar like a lion. And
I
so,
love it.
that little man, he really makes me take all of this seriously. And so,
Fun.
yeah, and so this moon, thank you for joining me because it just, it creates a level of I don't know, credibility or just we just love to hear from everyone's experience. But shall we talk about the full moon now?
Yes, yes, yes.
Oh my
Bye. I
gosh.
love
Well,
you.
keep doing your sunshine, your good morning sunshine. I love it
Thank
so
you.
much. Yes.
I can't remember how to leave,
I
so
got
can
it. I
you just
got
like
it. I love you. All right, give her a clap, everybody. All right, so here's the thing. I I have not heard a single astrologer on TikTok say anything really optimistic or productive about the full moon in Aquarius. And it's because Leo wants you to think about yourself. Leo is that, think the Chronicles of Narnia, think the Lion of Judah, think, the royalty, the king of the jungle, right? And so we all, we should, or we all just inevitably, inherently, I guess, strive to become that crowned sovereign being, which is the Leo ultimate highest self. But the journey to that is very tricky because the sun governs Leo, which kind of symbolically means that the ego governs Leo, which means Leo has a tough ride to get to the emotional mastery and to the higher self and to that north node, so on and so forth. And so while Venus is questioning all of your values and what you stand for and how good are you at finances and how much of an adult are you really and can we really trust you to do life for the highest good in this world, or are you still not, a member of the intergalactic, right? Cult, I guess. And so while Venus is doing all of this questioning, Leo is prompting you to just, do your best. And Leo is the cheerleader and do this right now because that's what your authentic soul is calling you to do. And, oh, this is so you. So, do it or whatever the self just asks of you, right? That ego led intellect sons the emotional aspect just leads you to do, which sometimes may leave you feeling empty or unfulfilled or alone, right? And so while all of that is happening throughout the whole month of August, all of these other planets are going to go retrograde, which means whatever the planet governs, there's going to be like an opposite off. And so it will be a tricky month. Not just that, but aside from the moon happening in Aquarius, which I'm still tiptoeing around, but I will get to, there's two full moons in August. And don't let any astrologer tell you that the blue moon, which is what the second full moon in a single month is called, means anything really like spiritually special because it doesn't. It's a Gregorian calendar thing for there to be two moons in a single month. But if you think about it logically, it means more drama because every time there's a full moon, there's emotional drama, there's an emotional disconnect. So, thank you, Jennifer, for sharing the song. I love that. I appreciate that. So, the full moon in Aquarius, I don't think it's that dramatic, and I'm going to tell you why. I actually thought it was going to be kind of a tender mercy, and you've heard me use that term before. And I say that because when the nodes shifted from Taurus, North Node, and Scorpio, the South Node, to Aries, North Node, and South Node in Libra, back on June 17th, we were collectively pushed into the energy of going from the collective, South Node in Libra, to the self, North Node in Aries, from being on the fence, South Node in Libra, to really making a choice and committing to something, North Node in Aries, from trying to keep the peace in a relationship, against your better judgment, that's South Node in Libra, to sticking up to what I want and need and demanding what I need and using my voice, North Node in Aries. And the full moon in Aquarius, it's almost calling for the same thing, but it's almost like a reminder like, okay, great, your North Node is in Aries now. It's going to be in Aries until January 2025. And this is a collective thing. It's not just like, I'm a Taurus, so that doesn't apply to me. No, the North Node's changing. It's for everyone. So for the whole next 18 months, we're almost called, energetically speaking, to really ponder the self. You know, who cares if your friends don't agree with your home, like with your family or your parenting philosophy? If everyone in your home is okay with your parenting philosophy, then screw everyone else. That's kind of the mindset from Libra to Aries, right? Well, the full moon in Aquarius wants you to remember, okay, great, you're doing awesome remembering yourself and asking for what you want and demanding what you need and going for your desires, but don't forget the collective. That's the Aquarius in it. Don't forget that, we want to nurture in order to heal, and we do this collectively. Don't forget to serve. Don't forget to provide. Don't forget to include. Don't forget to, you know, do things with someone because two brains are better than one, and so on and so forth. Don't forget to compromise and how magical it can be, right? And that's the full moon in Aquarius. So I feel like I heard a lot of drama, and honestly, beware of anybody that tells you to be afraid of something. I honestly feel like the more I learn about the astrology and the moonology of it all, the less afraid I am of what's coming, because you can see it months ahead, if not a whole year ahead. You can see what's happening. And that's the beauty of astrology. So that's going to be the full moon. Let's get to the agenda because there's questions and affirmations, and it's already been a beautiful and very informative 26 minutes. Look at us go. So, we are following the full moon, the Moon Magic and Mindfulness with Grace 2023 manifestation agenda slash journal. I'm already working on next year's, and I'm so excited. And the moon today, thank you, it's an Aquarius. The waxing gibbous wants you to remember to fulfill your needs and then help others. And this honestly comes from something that I see a lot in coaching, something that I coach myself through, and my coach helps me through with, which is like the energy of resentment and how it can seem like, oh, I just said that, but I don't really resent that person. But I did say that, and I did mean it in that sense, and it festers. That's the word I like to use, fester. That's what resentment does. And so when you are not fulfilled, when your cup is not full, when you are in need of whatever, whatever cup needs to be fulfilled, and then you're giving and giving and giving. There's that Aquarius just pouring, pouring, and pouring onto others. You can get resentful, even without even noticing, even without intending to. And that's the energy reading, right? That's when how do you feel and where do you feel that in your body and what does that make you think, and all of those questions make you really ponder, am I being resentful, and what can grow from that? Because in my experience, nothing beautiful grows from resentment. It's just festering, right? So fulfill your needs first and then help others. Make sure you do one so that then you can do the other. And then the affirmation for the week, because the moon invites you, the book invites you to have affirmations every week. I validate myself in all of my efforts and accomplishments. And when I say all, as a personal coach, I mean all. Sometimes we really do need to celebrate that we got up. We really do need to celebrate that we made the bed. Sometimes we really do need to tell ourselves something nice in front of the mirror. It is Leo season. This is the season for you to look at yourself in the mirror and wink and be like, you got this, girl. You got this, man. Whatever. You got this, period. That's so Leo season, right? Put a picture of your like of you when you were a baby in your wallet. That's so Leo season coded. Like, it's like the self, me. I am the most important person in the world, because if I take care of me, then I can take care of others. It's the only way, right? So do with that what you may. And then I am proud of my journey thus far. Absolutely. Look at us. Please give yourselves a round of applause. We have been together for 30 episodes this year. 30. 30 because there's 31 weeks that have already happened this year, but I missed one episode. So 30 episodes already. Thank you. We're already coming up on the first anniversary. I think that's going to be next week, y'all. Next week might just be the first anniversary of Moon Magic and Mindfulness with Grace here on Fireside and Spotify and YouTube and all the places. And I'm so excited. So, the moon of August has two full moons on the 1st and 30th, and one new moon on the 16th. You have all of that in your agenda. Tomorrow is in Aquarius. The new moon is going to be in Leo. So let me tell you, that's going to be such an, oh, I'm getting itchy just thinking about it. That's going to be such a great opportunity to really ponder the self, what I need in order to then help others, what the future looks like according to my own soul calling and authentic vibration. So that's going to be the new moon in Leo. I'm excited about that. And then the blue moon is going to be in Pisces, which means it's going to be quite the opportunity for you to connect, for you to do tarot, for you to just ponder your dreams, interpret your dreams, so on and so forth. But for this week, we have the full moon happening tomorrow in Aquarius. After that, it moves into Pisces on Thursday. Honestly, Pisces will just be the best opportunity to make sense of it all if you are into pondering your dreams. What do they mean? Why did I dream what I dreamt? I know very well that some people couldn't care less about their dreams. Some people don't remember their dreams. I have actually heard of spiritual people who believe that dreams are nothing to speculate on or try to dismantle and make sense of, but that's not what I believe. And in all honesty, if there's an actual dream interpreter in the Bible, I'm talking about Joseph, obviously, then it must be pretty important. Otherwise, it wouldn't be in the, tome of your basic instructions before leaving Earth. How about maybe you take a look at what you dreamt last night and see if there's a clue as to what the universe is prompting you to do or asking you to do, or just, leading you towards. So that's what I have to say about dreams. There's that. Thursday, Friday, that's going to be in Pisces. And then Saturday and Sunday, it's going to be in Aries, and it's going to be wild and fiery and spicy because that's Aries for you. And all of the drama that's going to be stirred up tomorrow, and it's already being stirred up, hopefully we can make sense of it through Pisces moon. Maybe not. Maybe it gets even cloudier and more dramatic. And then Aries. And honestly, the only way that I can predict full slash a foolish moon in Pisces would be for someone to be very inspired and for the people in their life to not be receptive of that. Pisces is very creative, very spiritual. It's a water sign, right? So it wants to flow. And if it's encountered with a dam, then there's conflict, aside from all the other conflict that's going to brew this week. So that's your week moonology for you. And the full moon in Aquarius wants to ask you three things. Number one, how am I making sure that my contributions to my community are honestly soul aligned? How am I making sure that my contributions to the community are honestly soul aligned? When faced with old habits that I am trying to break, how am I showing compassion and grace to myself? So ponder, what habits are you trying to break? Pause for dramatic effect. I have one thing that I'm really trying to get in the habit of. So I'm trying to actually not grow, like stop a habit, but build a habit. And that is, instead of going all over the place to find what I need in the kitchen, I want to gather everything organizedly and then begin whatever cooking I'm doing. And this is from something we learned from the book Sensitive by Jen Greneman and Andre Solo about how apparently, so don't take my word for it, I didn't write this. Um, the way that we move our head to look at things, to look over our shoulder, to grab something from the cabinet or to open the fridge or whatever, also influences our overstimulation. It contributes to how overstimulated our brain gets because our brain has a sensor that senses how our neck is holding our head and what that could mean. I know. And so if you're a highly sensitive person, it will affect you more than if you're not, and all of that. And so, with that in mind, I thought, I observed how I feel after cooking disorganizedly and how I felt after cooking with everything in one place. And I did actually feel just a gentler ease when I cooked with everything in one place and then enjoyed my meal, as opposed to, oh, now I need, the green onions. So let me go grab them in the fridge and cut them really quick and add them, instead of running all over the place. I had everything in one place. And so I'm actually trying to build that habit. So the question is, when faced with old habits, I'm trying to break. So I guess I'm trying to break the habit of being incredibly disorganized in the kitchen. We can call it that. How am I showing compassion and grace to myself? And that could mean you're not actively participating in negative self talk. You're letting yourself know that you're doing a good job, that what you're doing is right, that, it may feel uncomfortable now, but the reward will be amazing. Like, it's, I, as an ICF certified coach, I feel like compassion and grace, when you show those things to yourself, you're being positive, you're being assertive, and you're being welcoming. You want yourself to feel as comfortable as when you are accommodating of other people, right? And then what patterns are being highlighted that don't serve me anymore? This is very full moon coded, right? The full moon is that banishing. It's that moment that when we see what the full moon has illuminated in our lives, we can decide, all right, now that I see you, because the full moon has shed light on it, what do I make of you? Do I hold on to you, or do I push you down the curb for someone else to find, right? Do I release? Do I give back? Do I let go? Do I cord cuts with? Like, that's pretty much what happens between the full moon and the waning moon up until the waning crescent first quarter, I think. We'll talk about it. But anyway, the affirmations for the full moon are: I let go of the past mistakes without judgment and make room for positive growth and hopeful efforts. And my life is directed towards the magnification of my gifts and the manifestation of my dreams. Ow, amen. Can you say the same? Can you actively say that you're directed towards the manifestation of your dreams and the magnification of your gifts? Do you even know what your gifts are? It's not singing, or dancing or being athletic. I don't think that's what is, what it means to have a spiritual gift. We can talk about it, but are you working towards the magnification of your gifts? And I bring that up as the author of that affirmation because it's been my experience, and I confirmed it by reading that book, Sensitive by Jen Greneman and Andre Solo, Amazon's editor's choice this week, by the way. I mean, not this week, this year. Um, that for highly sensitive people, it's not just about a job. It's not just about a paycheck. It's not just about making a living. It's about truly connecting. It's about really nurturing and having that empathic connection to the art, the job, the person, whatever it is, the object. And so how can you really connect in that level without figuring out what your gifts are and then putting them to good use, right? So I feel like it almost happens not automatically, but it goes hand in hand. Discovering what your gifts are goes hand in hand with identifying yourself as a highly sensitive empath, or at least recognizing that you are sensitive and what does that sensitivity entail? What does it correlate to? What does it bring up? And then go from there. So, it's a beautiful life to be sensitive. It's just pretty dramatic. But, I feel like the more that we have these conversations, the less that I spiral into distress. Because the more that we have these conversations, the more that I have conversations with my coach and my therapist, the more conversations I have with my clients, the more I understand. And then the more I understand, the easier it is to just make sense of things when the moon does whatever and I act out. But most importantly, just as a full moon in Aquarius type of reminder, when other people act out, how can I hold space for people when they are unaware of what they're going through because they're not in the emotional awareness journey that you are in? How do you hold space? How do you maintain your grace and composure? How do you maintain, your common decency when people around you are acting the fool? That's a good that's a good one. I choked, so I know that's a good one. Yeah, and that goes for anyone that works retail, anyone that works in a group. It's so much easier to work from your home and do whatever you want. If you want to launch a business, give me a call. But yeah, I digress. Thank you. Thank you for such a beautiful conversation. At the end of the day, part of why I keep showing up and having these conversations is because making sense of things together is so much easier, right? Two brains work better than one. So collectively, everyone in the room just works so much better. And not just that, but if I understand, again, very Aquarius coded. If I understand what the collective is going through, then I can then, reassess and decide and move forward from there. When you're a creator, it's very tricky like that because I don't just create or make a book like for myself, but it is very collectively oriented. So, all of that to say, I can't wait to see the book for next year and what all the moons will have to say. But for now, we have a quote from Oprah Winfrey, I believe. Yes. Oprah Winfrey wants you to remember this month, you define your own life. Don't let other people write your script. That's a little quote by Oprah. You define your own life. Don't let other people write your script. There's that. And then we're going to have the new moon on August 16. It's going to be in, I forgot, in Leo. There you go. And then the full moon again on the 30th in August. So that's it, everybody. Let's transition into a quick meditation. So there you go. I'll have a sip of water if I may. And then both feet on the ground. Focus on your normal breathing, nice and slow. Breathe in through your nose, nice and slow, deep, deep, deep breath in through your nose all the way till you have no air. Hold it at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let it out through your mouth, nice and slow. Long breath out till you have no air. Hold it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, and breathe in again through your nose. Long, deep breath in. Hold it at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let it out through your mouth. Long breath out. And as you settle into your breath and settle into this stillness, I want you to imagine that we are sitting under a bright, white, huge supermoon. It is super close, obnoxiously bright, and we sit on the ocean sand by the waves, hearing them come in and out and come in and out. And with every wave, a new obstacle. With every wave, a new doubt. With every wave, a familiar trigger. And in this moment, as you sit there in stillness, staring up at a bright full moon, I want you to breathe in through your nose, long, deep, slow, deep breath in. Hold it at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let it out through your mouth. Long breath out all the way. Hold it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. And breathe in again through your nose. Long breath in. Hold it at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. And exhale through your mouth. And as you exhale, I want you to release all frustrations, insecurities, doubts, everything that weighs on your shoulder, any regret, anything that holds you back, any shame. It's about the understanding that whatever is of dense energy will hold you back from springing forward to that brightest future, lit by that bright, big full moon. With me one more time, breathe in through your nose, deep, deep, deep breath in through your nose, nice and slow. Hold it at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out through your mouth. Long, extended breath out until you have no breath. Hold it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. And as you settle into your breath in front of the waves, under the moon, I want you to remember, I validate myself in all of my efforts and accomplishments. I am proud of my journey so far. I let go of past mistakes without judgment and make room for positive growth and hopeful efforts. My life is directed towards the magnification of my gifts and the manifestation of my dreams. I am loved, I am guided. I am protected. With me, take one last breath in through your nose. Deep, long breath in. Hold it at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale through your mouth. Long breath out all the way. Hold it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. And inhale again, nice and slow. Deep, deep, deep breath. Hold it at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. And exhale. Nice and slow. Bring your awareness to your feet. Wiggle your toes. Open your eyes. And come back to me. Yeah. I hope you have an amazing week. And if not, you let me know. I'll get the knife out. Who do I need to cut? No, I'm kidding. I hope it's a wonderful week. I hope that making sense of things is not traumatic or stressful. And if it is, please book a free call. Seriously. I'm here to support. I'm here to hold space. My job is to really do these things, and I don't take it lightly, and I love every single part of it. So please take advantage of that. And if you would like to support my business, all of the links are in the bio. So I will see you all next week for our maybe anniversary episode. What? I honestly haven't even looked at the calendar to calculate if that's next week, but if it is, I'm so excited. And I'll be live. Yes, ow! I'll be live tomorrow on Instagram at 3-ish for live journaling and painting for the full moon. Thank you so much, Taryn, for your participation. I love you so much. Peter, Cecilia, Jennifer, thank you for being here live on the studio. If you're watching on YouTube or listening to the replay on Spotify, join us on the Fireside Chat app or follow me. All of the links are in the description or on the bio. I love you all. I'll see you next Monday. Bye.